What is up? We are sort of back. Today we are doing a little bit of a primer on Kiseki, the high school dynasty baseball mode in Pro Spirit in eBaseball. As of time of record, game dropped yesterday. It is getting amazing buzz. People are super psyched, and I've gotten some questions on like things like player development and progression systems and stuff like that for the high school mode from some first-time players. And while I'll be the first to admit I don't think I'm an expert in this game mode, I will say that I do think I have the most English language content in this game mode from the previous version. So we're gonna take a look, and I'm gonna just kind of run through some things that maybe are semi-explained or not really explained well in the menuing, or maybe kind of some hidden mechanics that people might be struggling with on their first playthrough, and just see if I can help a little bit. But first and foremost, I think this game mode, like the beauty of it is you can really make it your own. So take what I say with a grain of salt. A lot of times I feel like I'm winging it, but just, here are some things I've learned by playing the game that might help. So I've got one of my older, like one of my season one videos up here. Actually, one of the later ones, just because this was a full calendar year. So this can kind of show off everything in the game mode. First thing I want to go over is kind of like the schedule making. I will say the first thing you'll probably notice different about this screen than if you have booted up the game so far is, well, besides the language, this is still the Japanese version here. I'm playing the English in 26 on my channel. These are older videos where I have a full playthrough, and a lot of it is the same that we can kind of reuse some content here. But you will see at the top right that 6 out of 11, that bar is going to be a little bit bigger than you might have on yours. You're going to see a little bit like I've got the nice, dark dirt clay field in the background here as our home field, as opposed to, if you're just starting out, you've got that kind of ratty sandlot field. Don't worry, that's where everybody starts. That is a part of the progression system. And then you will see the calendar icons at the bottom. There's a lot more of them than you're going to start out with. And again, that's just due to progression. First, we'll go kind of over the color coding. It should be a little bit self-explanatory. The game might actually outright say it. But first, you've got, everything is kind of color coded by category in terms of actual baseball skills. You've got that kind of blue light turquoise. You can see the weightlifter on my bar there is your hitting. So you'll also have like hitting and power. Yellow is going to be your pitching. Green is going to be your defense. And they also put like running speed in there, even though that's also going to affect your base running speed. Like it's just speed overall. The teal, you can see it on the bottom left there, is a stretching, kind of like active recovery. It's going to help body maintenance and things like that, help build up like injury resistance and just like get your players feeling good. Then you've got the pink bat here is going to be your special skills like slash traits development. So that's going to be things like fly ball or ground ball hitter. You could get that sort of trait. There's one called intimidating presence for pitchers and batters. Resiliency is a trait, the ability to play good late in games. So when you pull that up, it will give you a selection of 3 players. You select which one you want to give the trait to, and then you'll have your list of traits. Again, these will all be translated in the new game. And then you've got the chance when you select one. In this case, this was successful. It can either pass or fail, and you'll either gain that trait or not gain that trait. And generally, I feel like they're worth going for. I usually don't leave any on the table if I can help it. I feel like the boost you get is well worth the risk of not getting anything out of it compared to a regular training day. Like I just think it's worth the opportunity there. And then the most important thing with that one is if you pair it with the blue house icon there, that is like your rest day, skip practice, I think it's called. If you put that in front of a pink skill icon, it increases the chances that the pink will succeed. So if you ever have rest days and skill development in the same wheel, definitely use the rest day first. It does help. That's worth doing. Orange there is scouting, like you go see other high school games, learn what other players are doing. That will help your player skills. And then the way to pair this one is whatever you immediately train after. So whether it's your hitting, pitching, defense, or active recovery works for this too. If you put that after a scouting day, you get improved efficiency. So you always want to be pairing those, like whatever, you be strategic about how you're ordering those and make sure you're stacking your orange. Beige are your outings. That's going to be your Yorozua shop. No, I butchered that. That's your consumables shop that you spend with like the in-game currency that you earn. Playing games earns currency, earn currency you use in the shop to buy like consumables that can help your field maintenance. So you can level up your playing field, which helps your training efficiency. You can buy skills for your players, things like that. You can buy manager consumables, like to be able to change your schedule. All that sort of stuff is in the shop, and that's one of the beige icons. You'll just get that randomly throughout the opportunity to shop. And then you'll have shops out, or like locations. So there's like a sporting goods store, a hardware store, a university. Those will get filled. Those, when you're just booting up, those aren't going to be an opportunity like on a new save. Those get filled with your graduated players. They unlock when your graduates go on to do those things. So like If somebody takes a job at a hardware store, it unlocks the hardware store. You go in, you get maintenance equipment for the field. If your graduate goes on to work at the sporting goods store, you go into the sporting goods store, he'll give you some equipment consumables, stuff like that. Another one in there is pro game. So you can like go to an NPB game that one of your graduated drafted players is playing in. And then that has the same stack effect as the orange scouting. So again, if you're going to pick pro game, put a skill that you want to work on after it, or make sure to strategize like what you're using that on, because you're going to get a boost on the next skill development. We've also got the purple manager icon. Those are usually just kind of like good vibes. Like I always take the manager icon if you can get it. She usually just does something cool for the team. It could be like cleaning the club room and everybody's morale goes up. It could be like, bringing desserts for the team and everybody's happy, or like, it helps with their recovery. Sometimes she has like training days where she'll just randomly give like one of your pitchers like, a couple Ks worth of velo out of nowhere. So yeah, always use your manager days when you have them. They're well worth it. The last purple icon, there we go, that kind of schedule planner, you can see a little bit obscured there. It just changes the icons you have available, so you can just basically reset the deck. Then you also have, the game explains this, but the icons on the top left, so you've got the skulls there, there's the green sparkles. Skulls are bad. Stay away from skulls if you can help it. It's usually just, it has a negative effect on your team. Someone's morale will go down, or they might lose like attributes or a skill. Like just stay away from them. Green is usually a big bump. There's the pink music note. Those are always good. So you want to grab those as much as you can. And then there are yellow arrows that are just going to be a bonus in terms of like development. So like whatever a normal progression would be, this increases it. In addition, with the color coding, when you stack colors, it helps with efficiency as well. So like in this example, you can see, or on the screen I've got open, the green flex, if you pair, so actually this goes two ways. If you pair the exact same development, it gives a big bonus. So if you do two, it gets bigger. And if you do three, it gets even bigger. I also know that if you, or at least I believe I'm aware that if you don't have those, but if you do stack colors, it does give it a little bit of a bonus. So in this case, granted, we don't want to use the skulls, but if we stacked the two pitching icons, the red velocity and the purple special, we would still get a bump from doing two pitching trainings in the same session. So yeah, you always kind of want to be stacking. And then there's one more color, but we're going to save that. We'll get to that more near the end of this video. Next, we're going to talk about kind of the individualized like training plans. So here you go into the training menu and you've got your list of players and like what their current skills are. But then when you go into a player's profile, you will get kind of their full development menu, what they, are kind of progressing on, and you can choose what specific traits you'd like to work on. So this is a great way to do like specialized development. And honestly, this is where I feel like you really make the game your own. You develop the players how you want to develop them. If you want to focus on, contact hitters and speed, like just get on base, this is where you would set that. If you want to have all your pitchers throwing hard velo and like really master fastballs, you can do that. Or if you want them being junk ballers, you can set it for that. So this is really where you like make the team your own and like pick the trajectory in which all of your players are going to go. Like who do you want to be general? Who do you want to be specialist? Just build the team you kind of the way you want to do it. And this is where you're going to have the most influence over that. Next, we talk about the consumables. This is where you get things at the shop. Sometimes you'll get things as gifts, right? In this save, we were pretty loaded up on consumables. You go in and you can just, select whatever you're going to use. So a lot of times near the top, you'll have field maintenance sort of things. So like all those training equipments and dirts, those will help your field quality. That does deteriorate over time, so you always want to be maintaining it. There are like scheduling shifts, so you can like kind of boost up if you have a bad schedule, you can fix that. There are player equipment bonuses, so it just will give attribute bonuses based on, like pitchers can learn new pitches this way, hitters can get power or speed bonus, things like that, or position ability, like on defense. So that's where you can use all of those. And then you'll also have books, which just work like the bat skill in the scheduling, but these are guaranteed. So you can pick a book and pick a player and then give that player that trait, just guaranteed. So those are great. You want to be using those. You want to be loading up your players like effectively that way. And then this is also where, I forgot to talk about one more thing was in the academics play a part. We'll just say that I'm going to lead off with that. Academics play a part in this game. This also affects the book consumables. One of the bottom calendar options is it's the dark blue. It's self-explanatory. It's a study day. Study days bring your players' grades up, which is important because they will have exams 3 times a year. I don't have it up on the menu, but I can just talk through it. You have exams 3 times a year. If your player fails exams, their morale goes down. It's a temporary bump, so it's not like the worst thing in the world, but it's not, you don't want to see negatives if you can help it. It also helps with those consumable books. The higher your players' grade point averages, the more books they can consume and the more skills they can consume. So You want to be taking the study days when you can. I understand you might not want to do every single one that comes through, but maintain it a little bit, and it actually is. There are also consumables that can up a one player's grade average at a time, like just bring it up a full grade point. So those are useful. So yeah, be maintaining the grades. We are student athletes here. It's definitely worth doing. And then maybe the most important or the most asked about is scouting. So you do only have your players for 3 years, so you got to refill your squad. And this is going to be the last icon. You'll see it here is this map of Japan. You run that. You'll go through, you'll get a map of Japan. And the better you are, the more regions you unlock. So when you first start out, your first off season, you may only have your local region or like a neighboring region. As you get better, you will unlock the full map. Each region will kind of specialize, or a lot of the regions will specialize. So these are color coded too. You've got red for pitching, green for hitting, yellow for defense and like kind of physical traits like speed, basically. Pink are special skills, and then the white is like no specialty. At the bottom left, you will have down here. You kind of see it underneath the map there. That will give you what positions are available at that region. So in this case, the one that I have hovered over, it is going to have 2 pitchers, 1 catcher, 6 infielders, and 0 outfielders. So that's the like basis that you get. Once you select a region, you're locked into that region for this recruiting process. So you don't get to go back if you don't like any of the recruits. So we will go through whatever region we picked here. This will be the list then of the recruits. So we knew this one was catcher heavy. We're probably looking for a catcher. I don't really quite remember. But then we will get the list. We will get a selection of skills or attributes that they have. It'll be, for hitters, it's usually gonna be like hitting, base running, physical ability. And then you'll also get their resume, like how far they made it, like as a middle schooler, how much competition they played. And some of them will be hidden. The better you get, again, the better scouting you have, the better access you'll have to information. So again, like a lot of this game mode is that like progression, winning begets progression, I guess. Like the better you play, the easier it is to progress. It kind of stacks. So keep winning your games. That's one of the most important that, try to field a competitive team, and then it'll get easier as it goes. And then once you select your player, honestly, that's it. So you select who you want to pick, and you will find out come April at the new enrollment if you got that player or not. So in this case, just like when you first booted up the game and you got your first years, you'll get that menu every year. In this case, the 4 golds we got were our scouted players. They decided to come, and you'll get usually between like say I would say given between 2 and 6 scouting opportunities. It is random, so that's like the kind of crazy thing with it. And then we also got lucky here. Everything else will get filled out with just locals. In this case, we got really lucky, just random chance that we got a 5-star genius level pitcher as a random like enrollment. As far as building a team, I know they didn't really talk about much gameplay stuff. That's kind of just I feel like pretty straightforward. I'm not an expert to really talk about like mechanics and things like that. But as far as like Hakkyu no Kiseki specifically, the progression system, that's really what I think is like the most important stuff to keep in mind. And I hope that is a solid primer on building in this mode. If you have any other questions, drop a comment, let me know. And if you feel like I helped today, drop a like. We'd appreciate it. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel. We're going to have so much content for this game coming. We're definitely going to, do a whole Haki no Kiseki playthrough, and we are going to have a good time. So we will catch you next time. Cheers.